David Prince here. Uh, a child, I had a 5-year-old, excuse me, a 5-year-old girl. She is very healthy and had no problems, which kind of made this project a little difficult because there's nothing wrong with her. So I was going to use an implication of social work for her, I would say that she is the bar, the standard basically. If I were going to use her scores against anyone else's, because she had yeses almost on all categories and 60s across the board. So she did really well, and it was pretty easy for her and easy going. It was just not as easy for me for this project, I guess. But as a social worker, you would say that for her anyway, that would be the standard that you would want all of your kids to have, because they have a relatively good life, and not even a really good life, and a minor health problem with asthma, and the rest is just simply great, well, reading and writing and everything. So I do think that this is a good tool, at least as a baseline for parents and social workers to see, so that they can see if their child is developing appropriately. I'm not certain it's as good for ones that are having it's lower or higher off the scale. Maybe they would need more testing from there. So it seems like it's a good tool. It does seem a little outdated, like asking for the telephone number when no kid has a telephone unless they have their own cell phone, which I don't really know any kids from 6 and under that have their own cell phone, if that's even possible. So that seems to be a minor issue that maybe could have some updating from there. I learned it was important, it was important and good tool for us because I have children, and every time they go to the pediatrician, we have to fill out this ASQ to see if they're developing appropriately. And but I've never really seen it scored, and I didn't know how it was scored, and I didn't know what it was used for. Usually you just give it to the lady from the hospital, and then you talk to her for a minute, and she says everything's fine, and you never see her again. So that's pretty good to see, at least, how that is used for developmental. It would be nice to see how it would be used for it would not be nice for me to see as a parent to see if someone who has lower scores on the scale, but it would still be nice as a social worker to see, if that makes any sense. So like I said, this was kind of difficult for me because since there was nothing really wrong with my child who had, I mean, thankfully for her, but there was no issues. So since she didn't have any issues, it was hard for me to find pages and pages to write about her development when she's basically the standard that you would set for all the children if you could. Because my kid that I used is an upper class child that has this perfect life and no really health issues other than a few minor ones, and no psychological, no social issues, everything. So if I had my way, I wish that were my life. So it just seemed harder to write about someone when you're like, everything's normal and fine and great and congratulations on your perfect child. So, and that's it. Thanks.